All right, now this is a rare animal. I know I say that all the time, but it's true. These are all really rare, or a lot of them are. Sprint One. I've probably had 20 Sprint 2s for every Sprint One. They just didn't make very many of these. And the odd thing is, from what I understand, this came out 2 years after Sprint 2. So they made Sprint 2, huge success, and then they're like, hey, let's make Sprint 1 now. I don't know what the thinking was, but it's kind of like Daytona, I guess. Daytona had 2-player, and then they came out with 1-player. This is definitely a project, and it's pretty darn rough, but I don't think it's too far gone. I've sold a lot further gone stuff than this. It is almost entirely complete. It does have some water damage at the bottom, as you can see. It's kind of expanded down there. So at some point this got wet on the bottom, but it did not destroy the cabinet. The cabinet's still, I mean, I've moved it around a bunch. It isn't falling apart or anything, but it is definitely expanded down there. Control panel's got some rust on it. I just did a little steel wool on this wheel, and it shined up. I think you'll be able to get all the rust off the wheel, no problem. I don't know if you'll be able to get all the rust off the panel. Let's see, the shifter feels nice and smooth, which is unusual. The wheel probably needs lubing. Plexi isn't all scratched up. It looks pretty good. We just wiped it off with Windex. That's why it has that little stain in the center. It just hasn't dried yet. It's too cold in this building for the Windex to evaporate. Look at this. You might ask, does that marquee light up? Well, maybe if you had a nuclear reactor, but that's a solid piece of steel. You don't see that very often, a steel marquee. It's almost entirely complete. It looks like some goofball stole the big blue cap out of this. That is something I've never seen in 35 years of working on games. They took the big blue. Now, maybe they were going to replace, I mean, the only logical thing is they were going to replace it, and so they took it off so they knew what to get. I don't know. But, that's an easy repair. And I don't know what else is wrong with it, obviously. The monitor board looks complete, but it is dirty. I haven't done anything. I haven't plugged this thing in because without Big Blue, there's really no point plugging it in. Plus, the cord is kind of frayed down here. I'm a little bit worried to plug it in, and I don't think there's much point because how could it do much of anything? I guess it would be nice to see if the monitor lights up with net glow, but it probably will. Those monitors are so reliable. I mean, black and whites are a lot more likely to work than colors in my experience. The board actually doesn't look bad. It's in here real snug though. See if I can get it with one hand. Okay, I'm gonna set this here and pull it out with 2 hands. The board looks really clean. See, look at that. Doesn't it say, yeah, Atari 78, Sprint 1. And Sprint 2 was 76. So I'm sure that this board is repairable if it's not already working, because I know there are guys out there that work on these early Atari Bronze Era boards, and they're not that hard to get working for those guys. They are for me. Cabinet's real dirty inside. Didn't even vacuum it out. I apologize. And it's missing the back door. I apologize for that as well, but that's the way I got it. I'd love to restore it myself, but as you know, too many projects, too little time. It looks like, my guess is it did have like a wood grain finish and it peeled off maybe, but I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I don't understand why it looks like that on the sides. Oh yeah, you can see the wood grain under. Okay, it's just been painted over. So it was originally wood grain and then somebody painted it black. But anyway, this is a doable project, I think, if you really have the desire. I also didn't know that Key Games lasted to 78. I thought Key Games were all earlier, like 75, 76. Anyway.